Hello, I'm Phil McCumskey, an abstract painter. Welcome to my studio. Come in.
And I'm John Thornton, a representational painter who turned to videography in 2007. And Phil recently posted a very nice comment on a movie I made about my own painting. And since flattery will get you anywhere, I reached out to Phil and offered to make a movie about him.
My studio is my kitchen, small but perfect for my needs.
Judging from his accent, you probably realize that Phil doesn't live near me here in New Jersey. Phil, how did an artist from outside of London stumble upon my relatively obscure YouTube channel?
When I'm not painting, writing, or reading, I'm invariably on the internet. The internet is great for watching artists from all over the world working and sharing techniques and their expertise, and that's one of the reasons my art has developed in so many ways. When I was starting to paint again, I was looking for a YouTube video about abstract painting, and I hit upon a new abstract art exhibition at the Stanek Gallery. It was one of your films, and Deborah Fine, the abstract painter, was featured, among others. Immediately thereafter, I must have watched 20 or more of your films.
Phil, you're making me feel like I won the Irish sweepstakes. Thank you so much. Now let's take a look at your art. What's your process like, and what are your goals as a painter?
I don't necessarily work to a fixed idea, John. I go where the painting takes me. Luminosity and color combinations are important to me. I also play with different textures. Sometimes even incorporate collage.
Do you ever create a body of related paintings?
I'm working on a third in a series. It's called Quiet Spaces. So it's a lovely quiet colors in yellows and light white. I'll have a darker color in here, but I love the texture.
One day, lacking a stretched canvas, Phil painted on a cardboard surface from a packing case and loved the corrugation. A little while ago you said, "When I started to paint again." Can you elaborate?
For years I didn't paint. I guess life got in the way. But in 2019, at the age of 67, I started painting seriously.
Did you really just say, "For years I didn't paint, I guess life got in the way"? Phil, we're going to have to do a little better than that. Send me some photos of your early days and I'll cobble together some kind of story. Maybe not true, but believable enough. Phil was born in Johannesburg, South Africa, to English parents in 1953. A personable and athletic child, he often attracted the attention of his female classmates. Here, Phil's future wife thrills to his magnificent physique. An excellent cricketer, Phil led his school's team to many a victory. An all-round athlete, years later, Phil played against himself for the South African Combined Tennis Ping Pong National Championship. And he won both silver and gold. But athletics gave way to creative pursuits, and Phil went on to study fine arts at Stellenbosch University. After 2 years in the military, Phil worked extensively in theater and film. Eventually, he established his own video production company in Johannesburg. It wasn't until 2009 that Phil and his wife Mara emigrated to England. For better or worse, their love story continues unabated. Phil, I'm curious what the art world is like over there in England. The gallery scene in my part of the world near Philadelphia has been under a lot of pressure recently. Many venues did not survive the pandemic. Do you have an opportunity to show your work over in England?
I'm represented by an online gallery, and like thousands of other artists all over the world, I have cupboards full of my paintings.
I hear ya. Man cannot live on art sales alone. So how have you been earning your daily bread?
I worked as the live-in scheme manager at a retirement development, or village as you would call it in America. Very rewarding work. I looked out for and helped the elderly residents if they had any problems. I would also oversee workers on site and manage the on-site equipment. And of course I would paint, using my large kitchen as my studio in the very attractive old building I lived in.
There's no way my wife would allow me to paint in the kitchen. Aren't you worried that some cadmium red will end up in your Yorkshire pudding?
I'm a very tidy painter, unlike a lot of other painters I watch. I like to wash my brushes, my palette, my implements, mixing bowls, and put them all away when I finish for the day.
Phil, I describe myself as an evangelist for art. Both painting and filmmaking have given purpose to my life. I don't know what I'd do without them.
Yes, creative expression is important to me too, John. Picking up a brush again and applying gesso to a blank canvas gave me, and still does, such a thrill. I didn't realize how much of a kick the creative process provides. Psychologically, painting fulfills and stimulates me. And spiritually, I would say it uplifts and nourishes me. The actual painting process, although difficult at times, fills me with such an adrenaline rush. I'm not afraid of a blank canvas. I just jump into the work and I paint quickly. I don't take months to complete a piece, a few days at most. And since I've started painting again, it's become such a big part of my life. Often I dream about paintings and color and shapes.
Phil, I'm so glad we connected. But I'm sorry to say I am not going to let you have the last word in this movie. That honor goes to another friend of mine, the artist who created this beautiful and evocative abstraction.
Hi, Phil. This is Deborah Fine. I am so excited that you were inspired by my artwork. All the best to you from your fellow abstract artist in America.
The English novelist E.M. Forster famously said, "Only connect." Although social media has numerous problems, I do want to express gratitude to YouTube, which has enabled me to not only meet wonderful artists like Phil and Deborah, but to share their work with the world.